President Obama pushing for his $447 billion jobs package centered around spending and tax cuts designed to spark economic growth and create jobs. But critics say more than half of President Obama's proposal is recycled from his previous plan. Now, questions about how to pay for it with the national debt nearing $15 trillion. We put together a panel to see what the average American thinks about last night's address, and our special focus group is with me now. All right, guys, so let me start with you in the back there. TJ McCormick, you're a radio talk show host, so I'm sure you have some opinions on how the president did.
I have no opinion whatsoever. I think it was more of the same. I think, people are saying it's very passable. I think if it was very passable, a lot of these things would have passed the first time around. I'm hearing more making home affordable, crash and burn, and a lot of the stuff that he referred to as an immediate jolt, the payroll tax cuts and a few other things, are just that, immediate jolts that are, once they expire, they're going to take all the jobs with them. I think it's a lot of fluff, and it was a campaign speech, not a job speech.
Michael Brown, you're an engineer, an independent and an engineer. What did you think? Was it a campaign speech?
Clarify that.
That's okay.
It sounded a bit like a campaign speech to me. I didn't actually watch it live. I've taken to reading the transcripts lately, and I find you get through his oratory and get to the substance of the speech better that way. Granted that he's a great speaker. Everything was deja vu all over again, and it was phrased in a way that was very challenging to the GOP, in a way that sounded like he was trying to set himself up for his campaign for 2012.
What do you think? Kate Forster, you're unemployed, looking for work as a PR exec. You, I'm sure, like the part about extending unemployment benefits, no?
Actually, no. I think not extending them gives people, kind of like the kick in the butt to get out there and sometimes just take a job that isn't what you've had, your eyes set on. Maybe take a step back. And that's kind of where I'm going. I've spent a lot of time since my career transition doing all of these things to gain the knowledge and experience I need to make that transition.
Interesting. You're a good example for folks.
Well,
Kirsten Felder, you're in the back, you're a financial writer. You seem to disagree?
I do, because I was unemployed for 8 months, and I had to leave New York, move to North Carolina, and if it hadn't been for unemployment benefits, I wasn't able to find a job. It's not like I was sitting back doing nothing. I was fully occupied in a
Do you get
job
offended
search.
when people say that? When people say, like, oh, the unemployed, there's a presumption that you're just sitting around not doing anything.
You're just sitting around doing nothing. And it was, if I hadn't had the unemployment benefits, I wouldn't have been able to pay my credit card bills. I wouldn't have been able to pay for food. I was putting money back in.
Now, Tim Gillum, you run a temp agency. So you are in the business of putting people to work.
Yeah,
what do you think about it?
I think the one thing that came out that is very helpful is jobs begin with demand in the economy. And confirming that we're going to have this 3.1% payroll tax back in employees' hands to spend is the first thing we need to do to generate growth in the economy. That will then bring with it jobs.
Are you worried about debt and spending and money we don't have?
For next year, we need 3.1% spending. Remember, we've had 2% this year. So if we don't do something, we would lose the 2% that people have had to spend this year. So now we have 3.1% to spend next year. And I think the other critical thing is he's signaled that for small and medium-sized businesses, he's willing to help with the cost of employing incremental employees. And this is critical.
What did you guys think about, there was a real sense of urgency in his remarks last night. We got to get it done. We got to get it done now. His critics came out and said, where were you, 2 years ago? Why were we talking about healthcare and other things 2 years ago?
61 days ago.
Yeah.
Anybody, you have a thought on that? This is you're James Dudkowski. You're Teacher of the Year a couple years ago.
Thank you. No, I felt the same thing. It's just like, why wasn't this speech the first speech that he gave right after being elected? Let's get the economy going if it's that important. Let's get the schools some money. Don't let the teachers leave. Don't let the firemen and police officers.
Okay, but let me ask you about that, because he wants to give aid to states so that they can keep teachers employed and other emergency workers employed. But that means, according to critics, bailing out states that have been fiscally irresponsible. So states like California are going to get a check from states that have watched their budget, like some of the states in the Midwest.
Yeah, I agree. That's not fair. And I don't always think throwing money out of school is the right answer. I mean, I think some of the things that you have to do to improve schools isn't necessarily throwing money just at them. It's training teachers better. 50% of teachers quit after the first 5 years. What's their #1 reason for quitting? They can't handle the administration, the bureaucracy. They leave. 64% leave because they want more autonomy in a job that is less micromanaged. So now the government is getting more involved in teaching. I don't think that's going to save our schools.
Denise Albert, you're a mom.
Right.
One of the big issues is how we're going to pay for this.
Right.
It's almost $500 million. And there's a question about whether he really has it paid for or he doesn't. You got, your kids. If we don't pay for it, our generation, the next generation, the worry is that they'll wind up with it. What do you think?
Well, I'm worried about right now, for raising my kids right now. And the school issue, I think, is a really important issue because there are cuts every year. There should never be cuts from education. My son goes to a public school in New York City, and our school actually has a great student body and a parent body that can pay for extra things. Our science teacher and technology teacher were cut last year, but we're able to save them. But there's a school 10 blocks away that doesn't have the parent body. We need the state funding.
So even if you punish those states who are irresponsible, you really wind up punishing
everybody.
Children by
It's a
extension.
political ruse when you cut teachers first. I have to agree. I mean, government is growing, but we're cutting teachers, firefighters, and police officers. It just doesn't make sense. And to me, it's just a political ploy. You want to spend more money, tax more people. So why don't we hit people really where it hurts? We'll hit our kids. We'll hit the firefighters and the police department.
But he's offering to create jobs in that sector. That's what he's trying to do. And if it's about job creation, it shouldn't be about punishing states for being fiscally irresponsible.
Ken, let me ask you, Ken Winefsky, you're a tech from the tech industry. Did you hear anything new last night?
Not really new, and I think the big problem that I've noticed is really, again, while some people have mentioned that it can provide somewhat of a jolt, my long-term thinking is that it's not really going to be able to provide the overall type of production that they're really looking to do by this.
Do you think President Obama believes that it's going to do that, or do you think he's more in campaign mode, as his critics are
I
charging?
personally feel he's more in campaign mode with the type of message that came out and the urgency that he put out, repeating that they needed to pass it 17 times.
You're a lefty. I mean, you support President Obama, or did you, or no?
I mean, I do, and I mean, I think from my perspective, something needs to change, but just because you support someone doesn't always mean that you support whatever new plan they're coming up with.
His poll numbers have shown that lately. Dee Benke, I want to talk to you. You're actually a GOP strategist, so we know what side of the aisle you come from. But did you hear anything new, and did you hear anything that Republicans might back? Because he says those ideas he offered last night, like payroll tax cut, tax incentives for small businesses, and infrastructure spending, those are things the GOP has and should be able to get behind.
Yeah, but this is all about another stimulus package. So it's stimulus number 2, and the first one didn't work. So why in the world would we do it again? And talk about a flawed strategy. We have an astronomical debt, and here we go again. And then you call a joint session of Congress to tell us the same thing again, and at the same time, then the administration is saying, well, maybe we won't be able to create all those jobs by the time the election comes around. A total failure, and Congress should just say no.
What do you think? Michael Moynihan, you're in the back. I'll give it back to you 1 second, but I want to get to Michael.
Yeah, Megan, last night the president proposed the largest tax cut on small business in history. What's a Republican not to like? All of the proposals put out last night were solid proposals. The key thing that we really have to keep in mind, this is not about President Obama. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This is about the future of the United States of America, which is the leader of the free world. So that's really the stakes here. Are we going to give our children a better future than they have than we've had, or is it going to decline?
You believe that plan will do it?
We have to take action. The alternative, doing nothing, is not acceptable. So the president laid out a very reasoned, strong set of proposals last night, and the alternative, doing nothing, is simply not, not the way America gets things done.
It was absolutely just about the. I'm sorry, it was just about the president, because if you don't call a joint session of Congress if you're not talking about the president, and this was about one job. This was about the president saving his job.
I would encourage the Republicans to take those proposals and come back with proposals of their own and put something together that deals with the underlying problem. Fundamentally, it's not about the president. It's not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about getting the country moving again.
That's what it should be about.
I know Tim wanted to weigh in. I got to go. I'll give you the quick last word.
I think Mike has a great point. It's not the issue with the programs that are there. What's the issue is what's missing, which is specifically what are we going to do to fund the programs. I think that's where the question still lands.
He says that plan is coming in
businesses don't know if they're just going to pay for this in another way. So we're waiting for the other half of the story.
Thank you, guys. Thank you all so much for your insights on it. I appreciate it, and all the best to you in finding a job. I wish you the best. It's a tough market out there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, folks, Kelly's Court is back in session. Aggressive tactics by union activists